We are looking at US100, USTECH, NQ, NASDAQ, whatever you want to call it. And this is about the trade breakdown and the analysis, right, in a postmortem of how we captured this particular move. We have also been able to capture this part of it. We have been able to capture majority of this part as well. So, in this trade breakdown, which I rarely do, but I've been getting a lot of requests because I posted about our Discord in public Telegram and on YouTube. So, I received a lot of requests yesterday to start publishing some of these trade reviews or trade breakdowns. So, this is like going in public domain. Hopefully, you will find it useful and you will also learn from something from it. Okay, obviously, it is not the whole of FCP methodology which is going to be in there, but I'll try my best to give you some value in there, some learning in there. And if you find this useful, please make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other traders and trading communities. Okay, so what we have is that Nasdaq has been approaching all-time highs, as we can clearly see, right? And you need to understand a couple of things before we proceed into trading Nasdaq or anything like this. There are two kinds of charts that you should be looking at. Okay, the first one is your usual CFD chart, which is US100 here. Okay, and other one is what we call as futures chart, which is going to be NQ chart. Now why we need this is because they both belong to Nasdaq, but they have slight price differences because one is futures chart, another one is CFD chart. Okay, so when I go to NQ chart, you will notice that it has already hit 25,000 number here. As you can see, it is right there. It has already hit here. Okay, and the market has done similar structure. You see, structure wise it's exactly the same. The price levels are different. Okay, now what we can also see that this one has not hit 25,000 yet. It is yet to hit that. So it does not matter what you are which chart you're looking at, but in my opinion, you should look at what futures chart is also doing at times. Why? Because it is looking at round numbers, psychological numbers, and all of that, right? And that will give you a better idea how the markets may react or what market could be doing around those numbers. For example, on NQ chart, if it was going to hit 25,000 and going to drop from there, obviously the CFD chart will also drop even if it has not hit 25,000 yet. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, what we have in terms of structure here, this is what I shared in our FCP Discord room as well. I've been um, trading majority of Dow Jones, this is September 29th, and there was a W pattern here, okay, which was basically this W pattern I'm talking about. Let me show you what I mean by that in case you're not able to envisage it. Or so this is the W pattern, and what we know is that when we had W pattern completion, the market falls. When we have M pattern completion, the market goes up, right? So the formation of W pattern, while it is forming, it is bullish, the market goes up. While the M pattern is forming, it is bearish, but at the completion, it starts to go up, it is bullish. So this is bullish here, but once the market has reached a certain level, it was supposed to fall. So that was one of the opportunities. Similar sort of pattern was evolving here as well. So we have something called extended W pattern here. Okay. Now this extended W pattern, all of these WNM patterns in our research at FCP, there are 164 of them that I was able to find, but majority of them are not tradable. Or at least certain amounts, certain ones are predictable, measurable, and definable, right? And they are also highly profitable. But so what we have done is we have filtered down from 164 to near about 30 or so. And that's what we learn and teach in FCP methodology as well. So one of them was around here. So when W pattern completes, the market was supposed to fall. We were able to capitalize on that. And then what market did? It came back into this support here. Resistance became support right into this. Okay. And then market started to go back up for what? For stop loss collection, because you see the W pattern is complete. However, a lot of people thought, oh, there was a sharp fall here. Let me clean this up and show you again. There was a sharp fall from here, huge fall. Okay, which means that a lot of orders were around here, a lot of stop losses were around here. Okay, because people thought, okay, yeah, the market is like, topping up, and now it probably will go back down like, hard. But this is why I always say in my analysis, and this is what I also teach to my students, that you should take only one level, one zone at a time, trade around that and get out. Okay, do not try to predict the whole market in one go. Okay, so if we take a trade here, you should get out. Why? Because we are hitting at a support level. Now, if the market goes back up, collects the stop loss and gives us a confirmation, any like rejection from the top, then we will enter the trade again. And this was our trade opportunity. And let me show you what I did here as well. Okay, so this was so that one 29th September target was hit, and this is October 2nd. So what I said, these are two FCP zones here. One was around here, okay, and second one was around here. Let me show you what I did. Not all the details are available on here on this chart. So my CFD chart, US100, not the NQ1, not the futures one, was showing that this level here, 24952, 24952, that accurate, okay, and had a FCP zone as well. So in within this FCP zone, we could see something like fall sort of thing. This was supposed to come here as well, but we did not get any kind of confirmation, so we never took any short trade here. However, we could have taken a long trade on the support here. Anyway, right, this was our target zone from where we could have taken a short. So we were planning it. We were staying ahead of this. One of our students, Daniel, also said that there was another thing, there was another fib which was lining up in the same zone, and as accurately, right, this zone was reached. As you can see, it reached right into that level, into that level. Then we waited for a rejection from that. Remember, you can define all the zones, you can create all the levels, right, which may act as support and resistance. However, they are not guaranteed to work as support and resistance. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you wait for the right confirmation, and that's exactly what Daniel is doing here. So he's waiting for the right amount, right kind of confirmation, and this is what he did. Found a very good short opportunity. I personally also got involved in there. I also made use of what Envisage in there, because what Envisage helps us to analyze the market and also gives us trading signals. We can clearly see that the market was giving us a sell signal, and this was the potential target for a quick scalp here. Okay, I know that we have been able to miss this, but it does not matter. Another reason why most of the traders fail is because they try to predict and trade tops and bottoms. You do not have to predict tops and bottoms. What you need to do is you can do the analysis, but you have to wait for the right confirmation. And even if you are able to capture majority of that, the fall or the rise, then you are a good trader. So I do not worry about missing this out. I was able to capture majority of this and furthermore. So that is why this was a good trade. Okay, and you see what happened right from that level, right exact from that level, 24952, we had a good momentum to the downside. This is what happened, right? And I was able to get out before it hit this. Why? Because I knew that market was probably going to go up to this zone or maybe to this zone and then come back down for another fall. And why I'm expecting all of this volatility is because of a couple of reasons. One, we have this W pattern that I already talked about. Other one is that new month and new quarter has started. So when we have new quarter or new month, then lot of volatility comes into the market around indices and commodities specifically, because big boys, as I call them, like investments banks and hedge funds and institutions, they like to initiate or close their previous positions because a new quarter has started. Okay, so what happened? The market fell, and then what happened? The market went straight into this line, the previous support here, right there, and then I was able to get out. Now, after that, the market played around with the zone here, and I was able to take a few of the scalps here and there, right, for day trade and everything. Okay, then what we were expecting on October 3rd, which was yesterday. See what happened? The market continued to go back for stop loss collection, but where it came right into that level, and inside that zone, and we were looking for a simple confirmation. As you can clearly see, we had a good sell signal here. We could have made use of the VATA and Visage. There are 5 confirmation techniques that we employ in FCP methodology. So candlestick, is one of them, but candlestick may or may not be there all the time because it depends on the market what candlestick it is forming. But what and Visage also helps. And then yesterday, I also said that the market was probably going to complete an M sort of pattern here. Okay, because this is how we stay ahead of the market, pre-plan it, and that's exactly how the market played. As soon as the New York opened, market went up, came back down, then it went back up right from that lower zone that we had. Remember, this is the first zone, this is the middle zone, and this is the support area. There were 3 zones that we were looking at. Okay, let me show you once more. Okay, if I go back up, there are 3 zones that we have been looking at all the time. Okay, this one, this one and this one. Okay, and I'm looking at 1 hour time frame here. Okay, and this is basically a zoomed out chart, so that's why it is like this. So the first zone was around 24,782. This one was around 24,800, and this one was around 24,952. Okay, so these are the zones where majority of the market opportunities were going to be there, right? For example, from here the market fell, it fell into this, sorry, it went up and then fell from here again, came back down into this zone, went back up, and now it was supposed to come back down for an M pattern. Ultimately it was going to come down to this, right? With ups and downs, ups and downs. Okay, so what happened here? Market came right into that level that I gave. So this is the complex M pattern I was talking about. Once M pattern completes, remember what I said, once M pattern completes, the market goes up. So it was supposed to go back up into this zone and then come back down for further movement to the downside. And how did I know that it was going to happen? Because we have studied these WNM patterns very carefully over the years. So you see the market went up exactly into that zone and it was supposed to come back down here to get a rejection from there. Why is this? It's very, very simple. If I found a zone, okay, it can act as support or resistance depending on where the market is. For example, if the market is coming from the top, it may bounce from here, and if it bounces from here, this zone is acting as support. However, if the market goes below this, comes back up and gets rejected from there, then it is resistance. So you see, this was acting as support, it went up, it came down, and now it was going to go back up and become resistance. This was support. Okay, so we were expecting market to do something like this, and we were also looking at what Envisage, because what Envisage also told us the same thing. You see, this channel is showing us the market is going down. Okay, and this is simply up down, same thing. So if it wants to come down, we need a signal, because it's already downward, it's already telling us the trend is towards the downside. Okay, we needed a signal. This is the red signal here, red arrow. There are a couple of more things, like the red was there, and you might have seen other videos. I'll show you in a bit on actual water screen as well. And these are the potential targets that were given by Watan Research, and all of these targets were met properly. Okay. Now, what Envisage is getting a public release. If you are interested in that, right, there is a Telegram channel called Envisage Algo. You may find the link to that in the description of this video or somewhere on the screen, and you can join that. It's completely free, and then you can take it from there. So, what happened here? Ultimately, the market came into this zone, upper zone, came back down, retested the zone, it became resistance, came down to the second one, it became support, went back up, came down below this, went back up for resistance, and then ultimately hit our targets completely. And this is how we were able to plan ahead and stay ahead of each and every market move that it was making. Now, let me show you what happened on Vata Research. Okay, on Vata Research, I'm looking at H4 time frame, and you can see this is all blue. Everything is blue, 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 which means that market was bullish. Okay, now this is the first time it became red here. This was red here. Okay, and this became red, and this also was red, which means that market was going to go for a fall. So we already knew that this time the market was going to fall hard. Now on H4 time frame, you can clearly see that everything is red here, and then we had this arrow signal here, sell arrow, which means that market was going to fall. And what was going to be the target? The target was going to be this. Now this target gets set once the candle has closed. So once this candle was closed, this target was finalized, which means that there was very high probability of the market hitting this target. Okay, and we can see that market was outside in the channel as well, which means that market was kind of overbought, which means that market had better chances of falling. Now if I go to 1 hour time frame from there to break it down, this is what we saw. We had a divergence. Okay, bearish divergence, which means that market was going to fall. Then we had this red here, we had a red here, we had red here, market was bearish. So we had bearish divergence, we had a red here, and then we had a signal here as well, sell signal with this target. This was the intermediate target that was given by VATA Envisage. But if you see, there was a previous target which was also there. So what I usually do, I put a horizontal line around here, okay, on these targets, which you might have seen in my chart as well, like this and like this. Okay, now I know where the market could be heading. So if I go to 4 hour, these are the targets, these are the first target, second target, and I've captured this in several live videos, live trading videos that I've posted on what I Envisage Algo YouTube channel. Okay, so now here, if I go to 15 minutes time frame, you will notice that there was another unfilled target here, right there. Now I know that market is bearish, so I'm looking for mostly the bearish trades. Okay, why I see that market is bearish? Because the H4 time frame told us that market was going to fall. So I if I needed, I could have ignored all the bull signals, right, in the bullish signals. I don't care about them because higher time frame is telling me the market was bearish. And here what we can see, the market gave us that sell signal. Everything seems to be red, 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 and this was the target, this was the target, and this was the target, and all of these targets were met properly. And this is what you can see in here as well. All of these, like yellow lines, these are the targets which were given by what Envisage. Okay, so all of these targets were hit, and the market was able to give us really really nice profit. And this actually made my week, right? I'm actually traveling for a few days. So this is what I mentioned, like, and now I'm done for the week, all targets hit, done. Okay, so this is what we did in terms of capturing the majority of the movement. So this is how it is looking. I know, I have annotated a lot here, but don't worry about it. These are the levels and the zones ultimately which worked out. Okay, this was the W pattern. We were able to capture this, then we were able to capture majority of it, and that 15 minutes that I showed you on what and Visage is right there. That signal came right here, which was 24,930, around that area. So if I go back to this was 24,930. That is the signal, that is the sell signal. So all you have to do is basically, if you know basic technical analysis, then it makes it much easier. Otherwise, what you can also do is simply start to learn what and research, and it's quite easy. All you have to do is just look at the trend and look at the colors. Okay, for example, the market, what is the market telling you? The channel is showing that market is bearish, and we are at the top of the channel, which means that market is kind of overbought. Okay, two things. So if you know that market is going to go down, all you need to do is just look for red color confirmation. So this needs to turn red, the first line. Okay, this needs to turn red, and hopefully this will also give you a secondary confirmation. If all of these reds are there and you get a signal, once the candle is closed, take a trade. Simple. And you will, what I will also tell you about the targets. Okay, so this is what I did in terms of trade breakdown on NASDAQ. There were a couple of other trades, just a bonus, right? Let me show you the gold trade, which we were able to take. So there was one of our students, um, where is it? one of our students actually potentially said that there is a potential W pattern, and this was given on 3rd of October. So we work as a little team here in FCP, and there are not many people around here because we want to keep it very very small. So there were he actually posted this, and I confirmed that in the New York session that there is a water and research signal. Also, I also told them about how I was trading, and this was my trade here, and this was the target on 15 minute, and what envisage was hit, and ultimately all the targets were hit, all of them were hit, and this was the profit given by one of the students, and done for the week was a fantastic target hit done. So all you need to do is basically find a system and make sure that you learn it properly and you execute that system every day, right? And the system has to be in such a way that you do not try to predict anything, rather you have better probability of success, so that you can stay one step ahead of the market, right? Hopefully you found some value in there. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you did, you know what to do. You need to make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and share it with other traders or trading communities. And if I get a good response on this particular video, then I will definitely feel motivated to post more of these trade breakdown videos in the future. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good time. Thank you for watching. Find and follow us on these social media channels.